welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 31st December 2024. So actually there is some power issue, so don't mind about my face. So just concentrate on the topics that we are going to discuss. Okay, now let us see the first important article from your Hindu newspaper today. Okay, see the title, guys. Private members bill get short shrift in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So what is the keyword that you have to focus? Okay, so keyword is private member bill. So first of all, tell me in which subject you will be saying this? GS paper 2 under polity. So this topic is belonging to your static and that we can connect from only polity point of view. Okay, now my question is how many types of bills? Types of bills. So two types of bills. What are they? Public bill or government bill. Second one is private bill. So you have to know about clearly what are the differences between this private bill and public bill. So now can you tell me what are the differences that you can recall right now regarding this public bill and private bill? Introduced by ministers. It will be introduced by non-ministers other than ministers. Next. Okay, outsiders. Any other difference that you know? Speaker approval? Yeah, so we need to give the prior notice of 1 month or 30 days. Here, 7 days. So can these bills introduced only in Lok Sabha or both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? Both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Is there any specific difference between these two? So which bills can be passed easily? Public bills can be passed. So private bills, very less. But I'm not saying that they are not completely passed because already there are some private bills they had been passed and they became acts. Okay, any other difference? So here this is very important topic and many a times a question asked regarding this public bills and private bills and you have to know clearly what are the differences. Okay, and this topic is important from only your prelims, not from mains. Okay, let us see what is the context. So context says that during 5-year term of 17th Lok Sabha ended in 2024. So 9.08 hours only spent on this private bills and Rajya Sabha spent 21 hours on this private bill. So this is the thing which mainly said by PRS Legislative Research. So actually this is an independent research body which will be doing some research regarding so which kinds of bills passed, so how many days the sessions happened, and how much amount of time had been wasted. Everything will be calculated by this independent research body and finally it gave a report regarding private member bills. So there is a high chance of getting question regarding the difference between this private member bill and public bill. So here how the question format will be, they will be asking you consider the following statements regarding private bills and they will give you 2 or 3 statements and they will ask to find out which statement is right or incorrect, or else they will give one statement of public bill, one statement of private bill and they will ask which statement is correct. So to answer such kind of questions you need to know the difference. Okay, so if you see here this private bill and as well as public bill, they have a similarity that they can be passed in any house. It may be Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. In both the cases, these bills can be introduced in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. And next one here is one important difference of this private member bill and public bill is public bill will be introduced by a minister. Other than this minister, whoever, if any person who is introducing that bill, that is called as private member bill. And if you see the chance of approval in parliament, obviously whenever minister they are introducing the bill, there is a higher chance of passing that public bills than compared to that of private bills. And next one here is if there is any rejection of bill, so there will be no effect in the case of private member bill, but it will be having impact on government bill or this public bill. And next one here is we need to give a prior notice. Okay, 1 month of period of notice should be given in this case of private bill, and that is 7 days or 1 week in case of public bill. Okay, so that is the thing. And see this article, first article. Kerala plans mega drive to clear plastic from Vemmanan Lake. What is the keyword here? Vemmanan Lake. Next one here is they are going to clear plastic. So there are two keywords in this article. So first one is Vembanan Lake. Vembanan Lake in which state? Vembanan Lake, which is in state of Kerala. Okay, tell me, like why this Vembanan Lake is in news recently? It is highly news. Why? Because of pollution, as you all know that. So most of the water bodies which are present in India, either it may be lakes or ponds or rivers, they are getting polluted. Okay, so now here you have to know about some basic facts regarding this Vembanan Lake. And you have to see about what are the causes of pollution in this Vembanan Lake. So they are saying that one important cause is pollution, that too because of plastic. Okay, so now one more topic in your environment which is given is plastic pollution, right? So plastic pollution is not only happening in water, but even soil. In every area there is plastic pollution. So can you tell me what are the impacts of this plastic pollution? Because now in this lake they are going for removal of plastic or clearing of plastic. If it is having certain impact, then only people will be taking steps, right? So tell me what will be the impacts of this plastic pollution? Okay, impact on aquatic biodiversity. Next. I am talking about plastic, how plastic is related to algal growth. Plastic is made up of some chemicals. So whenever there is increasing of nitrogen and phosphorus, it will leads to algal blooms. It is not directly related to this plastic, right? Uh, yes, biomagnification. Biomagnification, bioaccumulation. Next. Uh, what? Okay, it also, yeah, it also reflects sunlight. It will leads to microplastic. How climate change and plastic are interrelated? No, not exactly. Fishing. Okay. It will affect livelihood of people, especially fishing community. Next. Come on, think what happens because of plastic in water. Is it also having impact on tourism? Because Vembanad is a part of Kyles, that is backwaters. They are very much famous for tourism, especially backwaters of Kerala is famous for this tourism, right? Tourism. And even these backwaters are famous for inland navigation, inland waterways, inland movement. Inland navigation is also get affected. Next. So whenever we are dumping this area with this waste, what happened? The carrying capacity of that water will be obviously reduced or increased? Reduced. So if suddenly water comes, like suddenly flash floods or any rainfall, obviously it will be affecting the people there. So it will also leads to flash floods. Flash floods for little rainfall. Next. If there is increasing of pollution, especially plastic pollution, will they become breeding sites for vectors? Again, there will be increasing of vector-borne disease. Next. So these all are the some important impacts of plastic pollution. Now again listen carefully. One more question is, what are the measures can be taken? So how can you address this plastic pollution, guys? Okay, tell me what is the source of plastic pollution so that we will be addressing those things clearly. So what are the sources of plastic? So from where this plastic is coming and ending up in these lakes? From where they are coming from? Huh? Industries. Okay. Let me write. Industries next. Huh? Okay, tourism. So people come and eat chips, everything, and they will throw simply in the water. Next. Okay, using of single-use products. Next. Can I add this fishing? So for fishing, they will be using nets. If they have been torn or if the age of that net is high, so obviously it will be thrown in the water itself. Fishing next. Any other sources? So even now, water bodies are using as dumping sites. Will you accept it or not? Yeah. So water bodies are used as dumping sites. So because of this dumping of waste, also intentionally they will do that. Apart from this, are there any causes? Okay, shipping. So these are the sources where plastic is coming and accumulating in the water bodies. Will you accept? So now tell me what are the measures you can take. So whenever you are writing measures, you have to address these sources clearly. Then your answer will be a perfect answer. There you can write examples also. So now tell me how you will be addressing this single-use products, industries, tourism, shipping, dumping sites, and fishing problems. Huh? Okay, so by adapting technologies, we can ban this. At least we have to go for complete ban of this single-use products nearby this area. Next. Okay, replacement of plastic with alternatives. For example, bamboo we can use cotton, we can use jute, or we can use eco-friendly products. Okay, next. Industries. So from industries, the water should be released only after treating them and proper waste management should be done. Okay, can we add the solid waste management here? And what about this tourism? So have you been to this national park any time? Nehru Zoological Park is there in this Hyderabad. So will they allow plastic into that area? They will properly check each and every bag. And if there is plastic, they will be taking that plastic. So here we have to go for controlled tourism. Okay, so we have to ban using of plastic. And even if you have been to this Tirupati temple, so they will be having one check gate. At that gate itself, they will be checking each and every vehicle properly, and they will ensure that there is no plastic is carrying onto the hill. So in that we have to go for control tourism. And next for fishing, so we have to go for awareness. So here we can't say this people to stop fishing because it will be affecting their livelihood. So is there any right of you to implement that stopping of livelihood of people? No, you can't take away that right to livelihood of the people. So you have to go for just awareness. So what happens if you're throwing that nets? And even if you have gone through any lakes, so people will be using thermocol sheets for fishing, local fishing. Have you remember or have you recall that thing? So that is also made up of chemicals ultimately. It will be also cause some waste in that region. So we have to ban all those things. And regarding dumping sites, again awareness and strict enforcement of law and strict vigilance we can take care of. And for the first thing, now what we have to do is, whatever the plastic which is there in that region, we have to go and first remove it. And then and all, we can take these all steps. So we can't, yeah. Here we can go for recycling, triple R, recycle, reuse. We can do that. But in that area, if it is causing extreme pollution to the environment, we can't. We can go for banning of that. And even our Prime Minister took this oath of complete banning of single-use plastics in India, so that we can write that point. That is authentic because our Prime Minister itself he said that statement, and for that statement he got even award. Okay. So now here, before implementing all this, first we have to remove the plastic which is present in that area. So that is a step which is taken now. So Kerala plans mega drive to clear plastic. But how can they remove that plastic? Can you see here? Very beautiful lake, but now here everything is plastic which had been came to one side. So how they can remove that? Do we have any technology? Uh, bubble? Okay, bubble barrier. Okay, next. So do we use any organisms that will feed on plastic? Is there any organism that is feeding on plastic? What is that name? Plastic bacteria. So there are some microorganisms that will be feeding on plastic. We can bring them and we can leave them. If at all any microplastic which is there. Okay, so like that you have to see in these dimensions. Okay, see this article, one more article, good saffron color. UP to use AI cameras, RFID wristbands to track pilgrims. So why this article is in news? Mahakumbh Mel or Mahakumbh. In which state? Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so why these people are going to use this AI? So in where exactly we can use this article? Science and technology. Okay. So can we add that from crowd management? So this topic you can write an example of crowd management. And you have to see this topic also, that is Mahakumbh. Okay. So recently this crowd management is in news. Why? Can you tell me examples of stampede issues which happened in the recent past in India? Uttar Pradesh, Hathras. Next. Hyderabad, Allu Arjun case. Next. So in the recent current affairs class, I said about three important reasons which are contributing for this stampede and as well as mismanagement of crowd. What are the three reasons? One is religious, political gatherings or rallies. Third one, celebrities. Okay, the three important reasons for mismanagement of crowd which is leading to lot of deaths in India is, first one is religious congregations. So whenever they are celebrating any festivals or any gatherings religiously or spiritually, so we can't control people for sure. So that is one important reason. And second reason in India is political rallies. So have you watched this movie? I can't remember that movie right now. Enduko Yemo song will be there. No, what is that movie? Rangam. So in that movie, they show clearly like, so how this political rallies or gatherings will cause stampede. So in that event, that heroines, yeah, in Andhra Chandrababu Naidu meeting also. So like that, if you see this kind of things, you will be really connecting with that. So political gatherings will also cause stampede. And third one is celebrities, that which happened in Hyderabad recently. That is about Pushpa 2 Allu Arjun case. Okay, so here you have to see now, like what are the measures you can take to control this crowd management. So tell me, if you are a DM or if you are senior IPS officer of your district like that, you are going to conduct one gatherings. There will be huge public gatherings will happen. So how you are going for management of the crowd? So in this way only you will be getting case studies in your ethics. Section 144. If you are imposed section 144, how you can organize that religious things? Then it will be against right of religion. Tracking, monitoring. Next. Okay, enforcement. Next. Will people listen if you are enforcing something? If not latte charge, how easily you said? Is that easy? For their safety, you are beating them only. Huh? So tell me, what are the measures can be taken? So first one is enforcement of law. So this should be the last sort. Enforcement. Next, what you said in the first. Very good, guys. Tell me. Tracking. You have to track the people. So how can you track the people movement? So my question is, how you can track? Okay, you can use drones. Next. Okay, GPS. If there is a huge gathering, do we get the signals to track GPS of people? Is that possible? Even if you go to this book fair, at that time also there was no signals to connect one person with another person. Then how you can think about this Mahakam? So where lakhs of people they will gather at a single place. Tell me how you can track by using huh? Walkie talkies. Okay, announcements. Next. Announcements are very old things, right? That is happening since ages. So even through announcements also we can't get the person or track the person. Next. Proper batches like Tirupati. Huh? Like Tirupati system. Okay, you are saying that limiting the movement of people. Okay. So actually we studied one case study. I think it is during that period recently. That yatra, no? What is that yatra? So Kanvar yatra. So Kanvar yatra which happened in which area? During north, especially this Lingayats and the people who worship this Lord Shiva, they will go to the sacred river and they will bring the water, and with that water they will do abhishek with to this Lord Shiva. At that time also what happened, there is increased people movement. So for that, what government of that state did, we studied that. You have to recall the things. Come on. So they stopped bookings of further. Yes or no? So they identified like from which area the most bookings are happening, and from that area they limited the number of bookings. So like that you can also use technology so that you can identify from which area people are coming to that region, and we can limit the number of people from that area. Okay, so we can track bookings of the tickets. For example, here you can take travelers, bus, train tickets, airfares. Yeah, like that. For darshan also we have to take ticket, right? We have to limit the number of people. And now they added about using of science and technology. So here they added about AI. So at this point in your notes of crowd management, that is using of AI cameras, RFID and as well as wristbands to track these pilgrims. So this initiative came up by UP government. UP government has planned to use this artificial intelligence enabled cameras, radio frequency identification wristbands, and as well as mobile apps, that two offline mobile apps to track the head count of pilgrims at upcoming Mahakumbh, which is going to be started in the month of January, and it will be there for how many days? 45 days. Okay, and see about this facts regarding this Mahakumbh. So on which river we will be celebrating that, and we have 4 places. So what is that? And even we have some terminology like Ardhakumbh, Purnakumbh, Mahakumbh. So what is that? See that once. Okay, and there will be a question for sure regarding those 4 places where we celebrate this Kumbh Mela. Okay, see this article. Army installs Shivaji statue on Pongango Lake bank. Ladakh consular other questions its relevance. So here you can see the image, right? So here we have hills. In between the hills, we have this Pongango Lake, and this is very famous lake because Do you know about this 2020 Chinese intrusions into India, which happened near this lake? Okay. Yeah, Galwan Valley and Pangong Lake, which is very much near. Okay, so see here, finally what happened was like army installed here Chhatrapati Shivaji. You know this Shivaji? Okay, from which empire? Marathas. So here our army installed this Shivaji statue. Okay, what do you know about this Chhatrapati Shivaji? He belongs to properly south. Yes, Maratha kingdom. So actually the questions was like, so why this person is relevant? How this person is relevant to this LAC region? That is regarding India-China relations. So if you are going for installing of any statue, we will be seeing how that person is relevant to that. For example, in tribal area, if you go, we will be having this Alluri Sita Ramaraju like that. Yes. So why this person installed? Why the statue of this person is installed in this region? Okay, good tactic in wars. Next. Courageousness. Okay. Next. Mm. Maybe expert in what? Okay, Navy expert, but it is army area. Ah, lake. Ah, lake. Hmm. So Pongyongso Lake, is it a salt lake or a freshwater lake? Salt lake. It is not freshwater lake. Okay. So what do you know about this lake? It changes its color during. Uh, 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 what? During winter. Okay, let us see here. So this article is saying that the councillor of Chushul in Ladakh has questioned what is the relevance of statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, which had been installed by Indian Army on the banks of Pongyong So Lake in eastern Ladakh, and also this point raised by several veterans on social media. So even the counselor in this Indian army, so he questioned like, why? What is the relevance of this installation of the statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj in this region? So what? How he is related to India-China relations? Like that, the questions asked by within the army and as well as even several veterans, several people, normal people also questioned about what is the relevance of this Chhatrapati Shivaji statue in this region. So actually this statue had been installed or inaugurated on this December 26th on the banks of this Pongyongso Lake. What is the altitude? It is around 14 kilometers. Oh, sorry, 1400 and so 14,300 feet. So actually, why this statue had been installed? Because of it is he is a symbol of valor. He is a symbol of vision, and he is a symbol of unwavering justice. So because of this statue had been inaugurated. Okay, so that is the thing. That is the answer which is given here. Okay, see some facts about this Chhatrapati Maharaj. So this is this Pongyongso Lake. You can see how beautiful it is, but it is saltwater lake. Okay, if you see some facts regarding this Shivaji, so he was born on 19 February 1630 at Shivneri Fort in some district in this Pune. So actually this location which is present in the present day of Maharashtra, and he was born to Shahiji Bhonsle, and he belongs to this Bhonsle of this Marathas, and his mother name is Jijabai. And if you see here, you have to know about the titles of this person. So in examination, there is a high chance of getting questions regarding titles and the books regarding these famous personalities. And especially regarding Shivaji, you have to know about important battles he fought, and even what are the treaties he made after that battles. Okay, and you have to know the extension of this Maratha Empire during his period especially. And he has the titles like Chhatrapati and Shashaktra, Kshatriya, Kulavantas, like that. He have lot of titles you have to see. And next, see here. Title says currency concerns. So what is this article might be talking about? Yesterday itself we discussed. Currency concerns. It is talking about which currency? Indian currency, right? Rupee. So rupee value is decreasing or increasing? Rupee value is decreasing day by day against dollar. That means dollar is becoming strong compared to that of rupee. So why we need to have some concerns regarding this decreasing of value of rupee? Is it good or bad? Bad. Okay, now tell me what will be the impact? What will be the impact? Tell me. Okay, imports costly. Costly imports. Next, what about exports? Okay, cheaper exports. Next. Okay, balance of payment issue can come. Next. Okay, depletion of forex reserves. Next. Depletion of forex reserves. Next. Okay, unemployment increases. Inflation increases. Next. Yes, impact on standard of living. Very good. Financial instability. Next. Financial instability. Next. What about investments? Can we attract good investments? Yes, there will be uncertainty in investments. They don't know. Like if they are investing in India, what about the value of rupee? Next, uncertainty in investments. If they are investing in this dollars, they can. If they are investing in Indian rupee, there will be uncertainty. Again, there will be impact. Next, in other arena, think imports, exports, BOP. Okay, balance of trade, BOT will be affected. These are the points which are given in your article directly. Okay, see here, Indian rupee has faced significant challenges recently, and now yesterday we discussed that Indian rupee value is all-time low. It is around 85 point something, so it is nearly 86, right? $1 is equal to 86 rupees. So because of this, we had a lot of concerns. So here we can understand that rupee downward trend is happening. It is all-time low. So because of this, it will be having impact on local market sentiments, and even it will be having impact on global economic conditions, and even loss of confidence among investors can be happened. And next one here is RBI is taking some steps to stabilize the value of rupee. But even though here what happened, RBI need to even maintain this forex reserves, right? So here because of this, what happened, whenever the value of rupee is decreasing, so we have to pay a lot for our imports. That means imports will be getting very costly. And actually the problem of India is we are importing only costly goods mostly. Like we will be getting crude oil. So without that, we can't run our economy. And we will be getting more gold imports, especially South India. They are fond of gold. So because of this, what happened? Rupee volatility will be happens. So because of this, the balance should be maintained. So here RBI is saying that we have to come up with a policy so that we can control this devaluation or decreasing of value of this rupee. And next one here is there will be also impact on this corporates. So if they are expecting a lot of profits, if the value of rupee is decreasing, then what happened? They will be not getting some profits they are expecting. So that many MNCs companies they leave India and they may go back to their parent company. So that what happens? Recession will happens in India. So because of this, sometimes here we can hear this word recession in IT sector. That means MNC companies they are going back to the parent country. So that it will also leads to increasing of unemployment in our country as well. In turn, it will be affecting standard of living of people. And next one here is obviously trade deficit will happen. Okay, and even there will be problem of inflation if there is increasing of crude oil price and as well as edible oil price that we will import from other countries. So imports will become costly. That will lead to increasing of overall price of goods and service in the market. That will lead to increasing of inflation. So here again government and RBI will be having pressure for monitoring of this inflation. Okay, and even there will be uncertainty in foreign investments. Okay, so that is the thing. And see, this article states and the danger of poorly manufactured drugs. So what is this article is talking about? Okay, they are talking about drugs manufacturing. So it can be corrected with your GS paper 2 under health. So health is an integral part in your governance. Okay, and even from polity, so from governance, even you can see from laws. So actually we have Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1940, which deals regarding this drugs and their quality. So actually the problem in India is mainly recently one case study had been done in Karnataka. 5 women they had been died because of low quality of drugs they are taking, and these drugs are coming from West Bengal. So because of this article is talking about drug manufacturing in India. Not only this happened in India, do you know this case of many children they died in Africa or any other country after consuming this cough syrup of India? Yes, right. So here this problem is persisting in India, like low standard or substandard quality of drugs. As we all know that India is excelling very good in this pharmaceutical sector. And during this COVID-19 period also, India exported drugs or medicines which is required for different countries to control that situation. But even there are some negative shade of India's drug manufacturing, that there is substandard production of drugs. That is the thing which mainly given here. So if you see the case studies, it is saying that in recent years, India witnessed a troubling rise in incidents involving poorly manufactured drugs. So 5 young mothers in Ballari district of Karnataka, they had been died because of contaminated products from pharmaceutical company based in West Bengal. So manufacturing is happening one state. From there, the transport of goods are happening or medicines are happening, and they are consuming in another state. Death are happening in another state. But who is responsible now? Central government or state government of West Bengal or state government of Karnataka? Who is responsible for this incident? Manufacturing is happening West Bengal and West Bengal government. But actually, according to Drugs and Cosmetic Act, which will deal with the manufacturing of drugs, it is not saying anything about movement of drugs which is happening between the states. If you're having law, then only we can punish. If you're not having law, how can we punish? So even we are having law, if there are loopholes, the people who are doing wrong can be escaped easily. That is the thing which is happening here, which is given clearly here. So actually this article is saying that because of this kind of contamination and production of substandard is nothing but there is very low quality. So if you go for purchasing of any product on online, the same product will be having different cost, right? Because based on the quality and the company which is manufacturing it. So even in this pharmaceutical products also we have good companies and we have ordinary companies. I think you might have heard about this Reddy's, Ranbaxy, Cipla. So those are the good companies which is having good name and fame. Other than that, you can also get the same drug with other brands. They may not produce the same thing with that standard. So that is the thing which is happening. Okay, so actually because of this poor quality of drugs which is delivered to the state of Karnataka, so there is increasing of deaths. Okay, so because of this what happened? So if people are dying after taking that kind of medicines, will people trust again that hospital or again that so and so medicine or so and so doctor or anything? So it will be having entire impact on the healthcare system, right? For example, if that people are taking treatment in government hospital, will anyone will come forward to take this treatment in that public hospital or government hospital? That will be causing harm for entire healthcare system, right? So that is the thing which mainly said, if you're having this kind of thing, it will be losing trust on entire healthcare system. And actually we are having some flaws or loopholes in the laws which are related to the manufacturing of drug. So that law is Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1940. So in 1940, even before we got independence, we came up with that law. But till now, there is no amendment, no change, anything. So this is the one important problem here. So actually this law which is saying that there are weaknesses in its application. So here this law which allows this pharmaceutical companies to operate across the state in lines with minimal accountability. They are not asking about accountability and transparency. That was not the concept in 1940. But now after we came up with this Right Information Act, everything, so we are asking for transparency and accountability. So there is a need of changing of that law. That is the thing which mainly said. And next one here is we have to have a proper details or statistics regarding this pharmaceutical companies, which companies are there and what are the things they are providing. So how, whether they are following the standard operating procedures or not, everything should be needed. We need to go for proper quality assurance. And next one here is we have to focus on even information sharing solutions also. So whenever Karnataka government knows about this company and what are the things which are provided, everything, then they will be very much careful regarding the selection, right? So even if you're working in any government hospital, you will be knowing about how this drug procurement process will happen. So they will be going for giving of tenders. So before signing the tenders, if they are getting proper information sharing, then they will be taking some informed decision. So everyone, they don't want to have they everyone will be thinking that they have to do something good for the people, right? So they don't want to directly kill the people by taking the substandard goods, right? So here we need to have a proper information sharing. For that we need a centralized database, okay, so that we can enhance drug safety. And even we have to go for proper enforcement of laws if this kind of substandard drugs are reaching the pharmacies. And next thing here is we need to have the collaboration about the between the states. If this incident which happened in Karnataka, if in a similar case which happens in Tamil Nadu, we don't know, right? So we need to have the proper collaboration with between the states also, so that we can ensure that this incident will not be repeating the next time. And next one is we need to promote transparency and as well as accountability, and we need to have a proper regulatory environment and as well as reforms. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly said. And see this article on India's obligations towards Rohingya. Who are these Rohingyas? Refugees from Myanmar. They belongs to which community? Muslim. They are minorities or majorities in Myanmar? They are minorities. They are minority Muslim community who fled from Myanmar. From which state they belongs to? Are Rakhine state. They belongs to Rakhine state of Myanmar. From there they fled to India. Okay. So do we sign any refugee convention? No. So if India had not signed any refugee convention, is India responsible for taking the steps for ensuring the safety and security of that people? No. So because of this, they are in dire situation now. That is the thing which is given here. So if you see the gist, it clearly said that a recent study which is examining the plight of Rohingyas who are detained in India, conducted jointly by Azadi Project and Refugee International, which says that these Rohingyas are facing violation of constitution human rights. Okay, they are not having the human rights, they are not ensuring the fundamental rights, because India is neither a signatory of any refugee convention nor India is any part of any key international instruments which is dealing with refugees. Okay, so that is the thing which mainly said. So because of this, we are not having any legal obligation to provide asylum or to adhere with the principle of non-refoulement. That is the thing which mainly said, nothing more than this. So already this thing that you had studied in your international relation, just revise this India-Myanmar relations, and in that India-Myanmar relations, just go through this Rohingya topic. It will be not more than 4 to 5 lines. And even sir detailedly explained about who are migrants, who are refugees. So just see that difference. Then your work is done. So these are the important topics that happened in our today's Hindi newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching, and advance Happy New Year. So try to take a New Year resolution for your sake. And we are going to conduct topper talk on January 1st, that is tomorrow at 5 p.m. And if you want to attend that, you can come to our institute, which is located at second and third floor, exactly above Vikas Book Center, opposite to Sub Register Office, Gandhinagar. And even if you're from other place, you can also search this institute on Google Maps so that directly you can reach our institute. So try to ensure that you are in class before 5 p.m. Okay. Thank you so much guys for watching.